welcome to my channel. I'm Nat, and today is going to be a nice chill video. I really don't want to edit much of it, not to mention that I don't really have a lot of time since I started classes. I'm just going to go with the flow and maybe try something a little bit more laid back. Today I'm going to be doing a secondhand book haul as well as announcing a little project that I've been working on. For lack of a better word, I will put a timestamp that you can either watch the book haul or watch the announcement, or both. You're welcome to either. I have my little cup of autumnal tea with my Canada mug that I got in Montreal last year. It's now my utmost favorite mug, and I'm just here being nice and cozy because it's very, very grey outside and quite chilly. So without further ado, let's start off with the book haul. Now, I don't really like buying books these days just because I've realized that sometimes you buy a book and then you don't really enjoy it, and then personally for me it feels like I've spent money that could have been put to better use in that case. So I like to buy books either that I know have had extremely stellar reviews and seem right up my alley, or that I know that I can give to a friend of mine, therefore I consider the cost to be split between two people. Anyway, the point is, I was in town the other day in the pandemic-ridden world, and I walked into my local bookstore that has a second-hand book section, which you can contribute with your own used books, and they give you money back and what have you, but they do it once every 4 months, and I was lucky enough that I accidentally stumbled upon, I think it was probably a couple days post them replenishing their secondhand book stock. As you can guess, it ended up with me buying several books because not only are they very, very, very cheap for European standards, but I also get a student discount. Here is what I got. To start off with, I got a copy of The Lord of the Rings. Now, I already own a copy, and that copy I've had for over 14 years, 15 years now. But I really wanted to give my brother his own copy, and this was under €3, so I thought that this would be amazing. I really like the cover. Mine is the movie cover, which doesn't even really have anything on it. It's blue with just the Lord of the Rings and really fancy font, whereas this one has Gandalf and it's nice and green, and I really like the runes at the top. So between the two copies, I think visually I prefer this one, even though content-wise it is exactly like the copy I owned. So this was a present for my brother, and as soon as I saw it, even if I couldn't give it to my brother, I would have bought it just to give it to someone, since The Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite books. So I was very happy for that. The second book was lying on top of the first one, and you can probably guess what it is. It is part of the Tolkien universe, yes. And it is the Silmarillion. I don't know if I pronounced that correct, but I haven't read this book yet, despite my love of Lord of the Rings. I know that it's a very difficult book to get through, and I did attempt to read it back when I was 12, 13, in an effort to find out what happens to Frodo and Sam post Lord of the Rings. This obviously doesn't give us that information, and it's quite dense in folklore, so I put it down back when I was 12, but I found it, and this was under €2. Again, it follows the pattern of the previous book, and it's very, very pretty, and I can't think of why I wouldn't get it, especially as it's a book that I really would like to read. The third book comes as a surprise because it is The Column of Fire by Ken Follett. I read this book just recently from the library and I loved it, and it is one of the few book series that I would like to own. I say few book series, it is one of the book series that I would like to own, and I already found the first book a couple of years back, gifted it to my brother also from this exact same bookshop, also secondhand, so finding the third one secondhand is quite good. So books 3 to 7 come as a surprise for me because I was not expecting to find them there, and I am extremely happy that I did because I feel like it was Providence that led me to them. I should probably mention that all 3 of them are Maggie Stiefvater books, and as I've mentioned before, she's one of my favorite authors. However, this series is really difficult to find because it's not really in print anymore, or not in print, but it's published, as from what my understanding, from a different publisher than her current one. So they're a lot more expensive, their sizes are different. If you know Maggie Stiefvater, you can probably have guessed it is Ballad and Layman. So these are her first 2 books ever published, and I am very, very curious and keen to read what exactly did she come into the publishing industry and what her first story to get published is like. As I've seen on her blog a couple of experts from when she was writing it or when she was querying to publish them, and they were very, very different from her current writing style. I am very happy to have found these books. They have definitely been looked after. The covers are nice and encased in plastic, and the pages are all nice and neat, and it honestly looks, you know, like a used book, but more on the newer side, and I paid under €250 per book. It's quite funny because today I opened up my browser to go on Book Depository, and in my basket I had these 2 books, so I essentially saved something like €20 on these books. So I squealed when I saw them at the store. I'm very, very happy. The next one is also Maggie Stiefvater, and I own this book already, so why did I get another one? I am going to be putting this in a parcel to a friend of mine who lives overseas, and I've been talking about this book with him for a while. I'm spending money on shipping, so might as well save a little bit of money on the actual book itself. And the last book out of all of them might come to no surprise that it is nonfiction. I have been really attempting to read a lot of nonfiction these days because I've realized that knowledge comes from reading. And as much as I love fiction, there is definitely some merit to read books that give you information about our past, our history, our cultures. I want to be a more well-rounded citizen of this earth, and reading nonfiction is a way of doing that. So my last book is the Magna Carta, the making and legacy of the Great Charter. For those of you who don't know, the Magna Carta is considered to be one of the first legal documents in the world. I had the great privilege of seeing an authentic copy, I believe, of it in Lincoln, and for a lawyer it's a huge honor of seeing something which is what your profession is built on. So yes, this will give the full history of its making. It's very bright and colorful. The covers is really nice, and it doesn't actually look red, if I'm being honest. What I do like is the fact that there's a lot of pictures inside, which gives some visual aid and dilutes the non-fictionness. I do realize that reading non-fiction requires a different mentality than reading fiction, so I'm not surprised that it goes a lot slower. I think it's a very beautiful book, and I also hope that it will deliver on what I want to find out about, which is essentially the Magna Carta. So that was my secondhand book haul. I think I paid roughly under €20 in total. The Magna Carta book was the most expensive one. Recently I found out that I mind paying for fiction a lot less than I do for nonfiction, and I think that's because for me it's become such a hit and miss with fiction, and I don't really feel I can justify paying full price for books that I might read and not enjoy at all, or enjoy very little, or just not consider worth keeping. And now for my little announcement, which is not really an announcement since I haven't done much with it, but I thought I'm going to talk about it anyway and not wait for me to have everything perfect. Get it started, essentially. So I'm starting a Discord server for this channel where people can come and hang out with me if they like. But I'm also going to be introducing a writers club as well as a book club on the server. It's not meant to be some huge masterful thing, and honestly in the month of October I just want to concentrate more on writing. Every Saturday or Sunday, depending on how people feel, or Friday night, I will be on the Discord server, and if you want to come and hang out or just write together with me, write your own story, etc., then come along and we'll do that over voice chat, discuss characters, you know, swap tips, etc. Be my guest. But yeah, so I would love to see you in the Discord server. You'll find the link in the description together with my Goodreads and my Instagram. Before I finish this video, by the way, it's a good thing I started making this video because I almost forgot about it, but in a previous visit to the bookshop some time ago, I found this, which I've been wanting to find one of these, like a book dates, for as long as I've heard and seen them on Instagram and Pinterest, and just as a concept, and when I worked in a bookshop. And I'm going to be opening this on the 1st of October on my Instagram story, so if you want to find out what it is, then you can. Honestly, I would open this on camera, but I made this channel for me, and I don't want to open this before the 1st of October because this video is going out on the 1st of October. Anyway, it's not because I'm trying to be cool and mysterious, it's because I just genuinely want to do this when I feel is right and not because I want to put it in a video. If you've stuck around this far in the video, thanks. I really appreciate it. This month I really want to put out more videos because I finally have the opportunity to, or I finally have the ideas to. Hopefully my schedule will be a bit more populated than it has been in the past couple of weeks, but we'll see how that goes with classes and everything else that I have on my plate, not to mention that the pandemic is making us all take online exams, and that's interesting. So yeah, we're all dealing with this bit by bit, and we're gonna get through it. Everything will be okay. I don't know if you need to hear that, but I will say it anyway. I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.